The eyes of the world have once again converged on the Rafah crossing, a critical portal between the Gaza Strip and Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. For weeks, the atmosphere here has been thick with anticipation and dread, as a fragile ceasefire hung in the balance. As the primary exit point for over 2 million people, Rafah is more than just a border. It is a barometer for the entire conflict. In this report, we go beyond the headlines to examine the specific events that recently transpired at the state, analyzing the thin line between humanitarian relief and renewed hostilities. Understanding what happened at Rafah is key to understanding the current state of Middle Eastern geopolitics.
To understand the breakdown, we must first look at the agreement itself. Brokered by mediators from Qatar, Egypt, and the United States, the temporary truce was designed to provide a 4-day window of peace. The terms were specific: a complete cessation of aerial and ground maneuvers, the release of 50 hostages held in Gaza, and the entry of at least 200 aid trucks daily. For those on the ground, these numbers weren't just statistics, they were the difference between life and death. However, as we will see, the implementation of these terms at the Rafah gates faced immediate logistical and security hurdles that threatened to derail the entire process before it truly began.
Rafah's significance cannot be overstated. Unlike the Erez and Kerem Shalom crossings controlled by Israel, Rafah represents Gaza's only non-Israeli link to the outside world. During the ceasefire, it was designated as the sole corridor for the 30,000 tons of humanitarian aid waiting in the Sinai. This includes fuel, which had been previously blocked due to concerns over its use by militant groups. The logistics of moving 200 trucks through a single, narrow gate under intense military scrutiny created a bottleneck that stoked frustrations on both sides of the border. Every minute of delay at the gate was a minute of the ceasefire ticking away.
On the second day of the truce, the situation at the crossing turned volatile. While the world expected a smooth flow of aid, reports emerged of gunfire near the buffer zone. Eyewitnesses described a chaotic scene where thousands of displaced civilians gathered, hoping to return to their homes in northern Gaza, despite military warnings. The tension peaked when a security incident involving an unauthorized vehicle movement led to a 4-hour suspension of all activities. This delay wasn't just a pause, it was a psychological blow that raised questions about the viability of the ceasefire. Was this a genuine security threat or a calculated provocation? The answer depends on who you ask. As is common in high conflict zones, the narrative regarding the Rafah incident split instantly. Israeli authorities claimed that the suspension was necessary to prevent the smuggling of equipment and the movement of unauthorized personnel. Conversely, Hamas officials accused the other side of violating the truce by restricting the agreed-upon volume of aid. Meanwhile, Egyptian border guards, caught in the middle, struggled to manage the surge of people while maintaining their own national security protocols. UN observers on the ground noted that the lack of direct communication between the parties significantly exacerbated these misunderstandings, turning minor logistical hiccups into major international incidents. While officials debated, the human cost mounted. For the thousands of families waiting for food and medicine, every hour of the 4-hour delay felt like an eternity. Medical facilities in Gaza reported that despite the ceasefire, the influx of supplies was still far below the required 200 trucks a day to stabilize the local health system. At the crossing, elderly residents and children waited in the heat, their hopes for a brief period of normalcy fading. This reality underscores the fact that ceasefires are not just political agreements, they are life support systems for a population in crisis. The fragility of the peace at Rafah directly translates to the fragility of life in Gaza.
The instability at Rafah sent ripples across the region. Cairo faced immense pressure to keep the border controlled while facilitating aid, fearing a mass influx of refugees into the Sinai. The United States and Qatar were forced into emergency back-channel negotiations to get the trucks moving again and prevent a total collapse of the 4-day deal. This incident highlighted a sobering truth. The Rafah crossing is a geopolitical tripwire. Any movement there, whether it's an aid truck or a security patrol, has the potential to drag regional powers deeper into the conflict or provide the very bridge needed for a more lasting peace.
As we look ahead, the events at Rafah serve as a stark reminder of how thin the ice really is. The ceasefire was extended by 2 additional days, but the underlying tensions that led to the Rafah suspension remain unresolved. For a lasting solution, the crossing must transition from a point of contention to a reliable humanitarian corridor. Until then, every person passing through these gates and every truck carrying supplies remains a testament to the ongoing struggle for stability in a region where peace is often measured in hours, not years. The world continues to watch Rafah, for it is here that the future of the conflict will be written.